Get skinny now without exercise. Every time I try a new diet, there's so much diet confusion and I end up gaining weight, especially when I focus on health. So I want to be clear that I am focusing on getting skinny first. Health is second. Because whenever I focus on health and try to eat more fruits, more vegetables, more whatever, I end up gaining weight and then I get sad and then I'm less healthy because I've gained weight. Whenever I actually focus on these principles that I'm going to share with you that I know work, they're tried and true, they definitely work. I lose weight every single time. It's sustainable, but I always get excited about the new diet, the new this, the new that. And you just really need to focus. These are the principles. There's 17 that will get you skinny now and keep you skinny. So number one, must be sustainable. Whatever you are going to do to lose weight must be something you can do every single day. Holding your breath to lose weight will only bring the weight back on later. And it's actually really embarrassing to lose weight. You'll get a bunch of attention and then you gain it back and you get a bunch of attention. It's really embarrassing. It's better if you just actually stay the same weight. So whatever you're going to do is going to be something you can do every single day. It should be enjoyable. Every single day it should be enjoyable. So that is very, very important. Don't embarrass yourself with this quick weight gain and loss. And it's also very bad for your metabolism to do that. So slow and steady, and you're going to enjoy every single morning, every single meal. The whole thing will be totally enjoyable and there is no discomfort. There should be no discomfort for your body whatsoever. If it's discomfort, you're not doing it right. Number two, what do you actually eat? What's the meal plan? This is the best news. You are the creator of the meal plan. There is so much diet confusion. Which diet works? Which one's the best? I have news for you. They all work. Any diet works. It's whatever you can stick to. That's the kicker. Anytime you're going to change your eating style, whether you go no carb, low carb, paleo, vegetarian, vegan, raw vegan, you're changing things up. You're going to lose weight and things are going to happen. But if you can't maintain it, that's when you're going to go back to number one. If it's not sustainable, you're going to gain weight again. So best news ever is you're going to create your own meal plan and it's going to be something that you enjoy and you can stick to. So you are the only person that can do this. I can help you. I'm here to help guide you because I've been around. I am older now and I love being older because I'm much wiser. But you are going to pick the meal plan that is going to work for you. And principle number 3, which I'll get into next, is hunger and fullness is your guide. So using your body's intuitive cues of hunger and fullness. Now, this is not intuitive eating. Intuitive eating is really scary. I've done that. I worked with a nutritionist before and they were like, do intuitive eating. And it was really scary. And I was eating cookies and ice cream and I did gain a lot of weight and I felt really out of control. So this is not intuitive eating because for me that did not work. So this is, you are in control, but there are specific principles and guidelines. And again, I'm all about getting skinny. Let's be clear. I want to be skinny. It makes me happy. It makes me feel good. And if I'm not skinny, nothing else can be right in my life. So that's just my reality. If that's not for you, I'm so happy for you, but this is my reality. So you're going to create your own meal plan, and I will go more into that in another principle. But principle number 2 is that you are the creator, and every single meal that you create is going to be enjoyable. You are going to look forward to each meal, and any discomfort, again, I spoke about this before, means you're doing this incorrectly. There should be no suffering on this plan whatsoever. You're not going to be too hungry, and you're not going to be too full. Only you know the foods that you like and what foods make you feel good and what brings you joy and also what foods are frankly available to you. So principle number 3 is hunger and fullness are your guide. This is the biggest one. Do not eat if you are not hungry. I will say that again. You are not going to eat if you are not hungry, especially in the morning. So the longer, and I'm going to go into more detail again. I'm going to go into detail. I'll do a separate video for each of these principles so that we can go into detail for each one. But this is just the high level overview because I want you to be able to get this happening like now, today. You're going to start losing weight, getting skinny starting today. So the morning is the most important. Your body likes to detox. So eating is actually the most, I don't want to get into the science because nobody cares. Nobody cares about the science except for me because I'm a little bit of I like to know all the information, but trust me, the information is there. Your body spends the most of its energy on digestion. It's not working out. It's not your brain power. It's not that. It's actually digestion. And so the less your body has to do digestion, the more your body can spend on essentially losing weight, burning fat, detoxifying, fixing your cells, making you pretty, all those good things that we care about. So you are going to go as long as possible without eating. Now, this is not intermittent fasting. That's a whole nother diet thing. If you like intermittent fasting, that works for you, then knock yourself out. That is very good for you. I don't like intermittent fasting because it's too restrictive for me, made me crazy. So that's not what I'm about. However, I do go as long as I can, especially in the morning, without eating, but I don't have a deadline. There's no time limit. It's intuitive until I am truly hungry. And a good test for hunger, an apple is actually not the first thing I eat, but if you are not hungry enough to eat an apple, you're not hungry enough. And actually, that's a great thing. If you want to have an apple for your first meal of the day, that is fantastic. If an apple is not enticing enough for you to eat, you are not truly hungry. You need to wait. So the longer you can go without eating, the better. Okay? So again, principle number 3, hunger and fullness are your guide. In the morning, the longer you can go, the better. And I'm going to talk about what I do in the morning. I have several drinks. This is my coffee drink. This is actually my second drink that I have in the morning to kind of tide me over. So again, it's not intermittent fasting. I'm not doing any clean fast. I do have some things, but I'm really not having a full meal until I'm until I'm very hungry, but not starving, but I'm truly hungry. Principle number 4 is no calorie counting, no carb counting, no fat counting, no protein gram. There is no counting. As stated before in principle number 3, hunger and fullness are your guide. Those are the only things, that's truly what matters, okay? Hunger and fullness. The counting will drive you crazy and you actually may end up eating more. And it may cause you to lose touch with hunger and fullness. So it makes you focus on external factors rather than internal, and it might actually make you choose food choices that are not the best for you, actually. So no counting. This is hopefully good news, and it makes you too food focused, actually. The counting is just not the right mindset to be in, and so the no counting should feel liberated, and you should really think about, you have this beautiful flat stomach and you're going to wait for it to be hungry to eat. You're not going to be like thinking all day like, oh, I had this many for lunch, I can have this much for breakfast. It's too much counting thinking. You should just be going through your day and enjoying all the things that you're doing. Your work, you're going to yoga, you're doing this, I'm putting makeup on, and oh gosh, I'm hungry. It's lunchtime, whatever. So no counting. Okay, principle number 5, no cheat day. You don't need a cheat day because all the foods that you want, all your cheat foods are actually part of the plan. So you are always on this flexible plan. It's not so strict that you need a cheat day or you need to get a day off. when you have this mindset of a cheat day, most people that I know tend to binge. They tend to overeat, or they tend to say, "Oh gosh, this is the only day I get to have cookies, so I'm going to have 5 instead of probably the 2 or 3 that really taste good." There is no cheat day. So you can plan things for this. So for example, I have 2 cookies every Saturday night. Or when I go to this restaurant, I order nachos. When I go to a specific Mexican restaurant, I order nachos. That's my favorite thing, and that's part of my plan. There is no cheat day. It's a thing. I also have, for me specifically, I pretty much have cereal every night for dessert. I love cereal. I'm obsessed with it. And it's part of my plan, and I can enjoy it every single night. So whatever your things are, it is part of your plan. You work it into your plan, and it's part of your hunger and fullness. So when you're hungry, you eat it. When you're full, you stop. So the same thing holds true. When I'm hungry and I go to that Mexican restaurant, I get the nachos, and then I stop eating the nachos when I'm full. And I might still have the normal dessert that I have as long as I'm not too full, if that makes sense. So everything is part of the plan. All right, principle number 6 is you're going to implement these changes slowly, 1 week at a time. So you will tackle one meal at a time in a 3-week process. This is helpful when most people want to implement all the changes all at once. It's very exciting and you just can't wait. You want to dive in and go nuts. But this will help. Again, slow and steady is the way to go. So week number 1 is you're going to start with your breakfast, or lack thereof, because really we want to get rid of breakfast. That's the goal. Again, follow your hunger and fullness. If you end up eating lighter at dinner, then you might be more hungry in the morning. But I actually tend to eat quite a lot at dinner on a hunger scale, like 1 to 10. I'm usually more like an 8 at dinner. I'm pretty full at dinner time, and my hunger is just off, and I'm so satisfied. I can't even think of any possibly wanting to eat anything else. And I actually eat dinner very early. I finish eating around 6 o'clock on most nights. That doesn't always work out. If I go out to dinner with my family, it might be a little bit later, but for most nights, it's early. So I am totally satisfied, totally full, go to bed, and I'm usually not hungry until truly hungry for like a meal until 12 or 1 the next day, depending on what's happening. So when you're first implementing these changes, week 1 is just to work on breakfast. So you're going to start trying to wait for hunger. Wait until you're truly, truly hungry for breakfast. So push it back, hold it off, and see what happens. Just see like what happens. And the funny thing about hunger too is it comes a little bit in waves. So you might feel a hunger pang, and then 10 minutes into it, it kind of goes away actually. And you might have a meeting, you might get distracted. I have coffee, I have decaf coffee, which really puts off with my favorite creamer. I'm not doing black coffee. It tastes terrible. I have my favorite almond milk creamer in it, and I actually put chocolate milk in it. Chocolate. It's delicious. It's like a chocolate. It's like a mocha. It's lower. Again, I try to do lower calorie because I am trying to be skinny. Again, that is the number 1 goal. Health is number 2. Skinny's number 1. So week 1 is just work on that breakfast. So take it slow and steady. Then week 2, you're going to work on improving your lunch. So I'm going to go into each meal next. I'm actually this is going to be part 1. I will do part 2 next. So week 2 is just all about the lunch. Now you've got breakfast down. It will take you probably a full week to figure that out. And then week 2, you're going to focus on lunch. And then when you get to week 3, you're going to work on dinner. I recommend snacking is not, I'll get to that principle. There is no snacking. You want to eat enough substantial at the meals, so you don't need to be snacking because that's actually not good for you. It's not going to help you be skinny. But we'll get there in one of those principles. But week 3 is just working on improving your dinner. So this is like a three week process to get into all of these. And yes, I know it says get skinny now. You will get skinny immediately, like starting tomorrow, or you can even start this literally today. You could start this right now. Wait, do not eat your next meal until you are hungry. So whether it's midnight, you're watching at midnight, or you're watching this at lunchtime, doesn't matter. Wait until you're hungry for your next meal. Now I'm going to pause this here and we'll do, go to part 2, and I will pick up on principle number 7, which I'm going to talk about this specific meal. So I'm going to talk about breakfast principles, and then I'll go into the lunch and dinner principles. So I will see you hopefully in those other videos.